Good day, friends. My name is Jacob, and it is July 12th. We're back for the second half of Amos as we continue the review of his sermons and poems to Jeroboam, the king of Israel, the second one. To recap, yesterday we saw Amos draw crosshairs on Israel in relation to the other kingdoms surrounding Israel, going into great detail of the sin Israel was deeply entrenched in. And to continue that string of sermons, Amos opens up in chapter 6 by expressing his woes to the people of Zion, who are relishing in their misplaced security of the mountains of Samaria, taking great pleasure in their luxurious lifestyles. Then he gives warning visions in chapter 7. Then we see Amos getting accused by Amaziah, the priest. And Amos returns, "I was no prophet, nor a prophet's son." And he continues to dole a curse on Amaziah's family. Moving on to chapter 8, verse 1 and 2, give us an interesting vision Amos has about God holding a basket of summer fruit. The fruit is significant in that it represents Israel, and the reference to summer indicates the ripeness of the fruit, which eventually means the fruit is going to have to be thrown out. And God is using this analogy for Amos to see that the coming judgment must be soon, because it doesn't take long for fruit to become overripened. And finally, we see a message of hope found in chapter 9, near the end, where God promises the restoration of Israel, found in verses 11 through 15. He promises to repair, to raise up, and to rebuild. He promises a future where sweet wine is dripped from the mountains and flows from the hills. The great fortunes will be restored to Israel, and they will be able to rebuild the ruined cities. A people broken by their sin, coming to a saving grace by their God. All this sounds familiar, doesn't it? Jesus is the true treasure. His blood is the sweetest wine, and he is the great restorative power to all who come to him. All this destruction ultimately leads to a humbling approach to the grace factor. God, in his omni-nature, comes down as man to endure the worst of deaths, so he can then lift us up with him into glory. And what an amazing picture to see. This is a message of hope for both the abused and the abuser, in that God will not allow sin to flourish. He will make an end of it, and just like rotting fruit in a basket, there are coming days of judgment for those who abuse and take advantage of the weak, the poor, and the needy. And God promises to be there for those who need it. The destruction is immediately met with restoration. God sets out to rebuild and restore what he destroys to ultimately end up in a much better place. Great themes of joy can be found in his restoration, and it's a hopeful message that we all can cling to. And God uses those who we least expect. Take Amos, for example, a shepherd and a tree trimmer. Not at all what we would see as prime material for deep and intentional sermons and poems. But by now, we can see how often God uses the shamed or those of low esteem to bring up some of the most amazing revelations of God and who he is and just how powerful he is. Let today's reading saturate your thoughts and ponder the words of Amos. Has God placed anyone in your life to speak powerful truths to you? Someone who you think not necessarily the best fit for the job? Well, I just want to thank you guys again for watching this overview, and I do pray that God uses my broken words to encourage you. Have a blessed day.